Hi, good afternoon. I'm Chengcheng. Thanks for being here for my thesis review. This project proposes a new user research method that I term pre-occupancy evaluation. This method enables architects to listen to the voice of the people they are designing for, while still maintaining their own authorial voice in the creative design process. In this way, we not only provide a better experience for our occupants, but still stay open to framing new problems in a disciplinary context. Before jumping into the thesis, I want to talk about two fields, architecture and UX design. Probably everybody sitting here is already pretty familiar with the architecture field. As for UX design, it has been quite popular for a while too. In this presentation, I'll use the term UX design as a shorthand to refer to a range of design fields, including user interface, user experience, product design, service design, and any other forms of design that employ a particular design approach. For disclosure, while studying architecture here at Berkeley, I was drawn to UX design and have decided to pursue a career in the UX industry after graduation. I'm motivated to use this thesis as an opportunity to explore the value that I have observed in UX area that can benefit architecture and what value I cherish in architecture that can be brought into UX. UX design and architectural design share a lot of similarities, yet they also have many differences. What is most relevant here is the different role that research plays in the design process. For architects, the research that processes the design is mainly about context. Architects care about history, surroundings, relation to city space, etc. There's typically relatively little user research. On the other hand, UX design is all about the user. The whole design process is driven by developing empathy with users. While there's sometimes contextual research conducted, it has a much lighter impact. Empowering users is not a new idea in architectural design. Participatory design, which grew out of member movements in the 1960s, is an extreme example of this. This diagram shows the relationships between the various approaches, methods, and tools in design areas. It presents two intersecting dimensions. The horizontal axis maps mindset, from expert mindset to participatory mindset, while the vertical maps approach, from research-led to design-led. While we may observe in certain contemporary cultures of architectural practice a general shift in mindset from expert-led design to human-centered design, too often we, as architects, lack the methods we need to complete this shift. The tools of the architect are the tools of a creative expert in their openness and visual ambiguity. They are effective at framing new problems in a disciplinary context, but do not provide a means for empathizing with those humans we are designing for. In other cultures of design, however, such tools are well developed. Those are cultures that employ the so-called design thinking methods, enjoying a range of tools that put their users always at the center of the design process. Broadly speaking, these tools are referred to as user research tools. User research is a term that is broadly used in UX design and refers to as a research method that focuses on understanding user behaviors, needs, and motivations. While user research provides a great opportunity to develop empathy with people, those who employ it often struggle to move beyond a service mindset and to situate their work in a historical and disciplinary context. To explore the nature of the three modes of design I've mentioned, I've plotted them here on Hugh Dubois' map. We can see along the x-axis that architects hold a relatively narrow and expert-tending mindset, while UX designers are more broad and tend towards the participatory. Architects are broad and well-balanced along the y-axis, while UX designers are more narrow and research-focused. From this, we can see that the deficiencies of these two cultures of design are complementary. Architects don't care about people. Design thinkers don't care about context. This observation led us to a new synthetic model of human-centered design. one that embraces both a focus on user research drawn from design thinking methods and values the openness of visual ambiguity found in architectural design process. The method proposed in the thesis does just this. Here we ask, how do we understand our occupants in a way that is both reflective of their stated needs and desires, while still maintaining the openness and visual ambiguity of creative design? If a new kind of method were to be developed, for architects to embrace both the strengths of user research in UX design and the creative voice in architectural design, then a true process of human-centered co-creation may be achieved. To distinguish this method from user research methods in UX, let's invent a new term: pre-occupancy evaluation. This is understood as a research phase that precedes the traditional design process. During this phase, we gather opinions from future occupants. What follows is an interpretation and synthesis of the feedback that enables designers to better understand the situation, reframe the problems that are uncovered, and speculate on new opportunities. To this end, the thesis focuses on a narrow slice of a larger design project, the pre-occupancy evaluation required for the redesign of a dormitory on the UC Berkeley campus, called International House. International House is both a dormitory and a cultural center on the southeast side of UC Berkeley campus, adjacent to the stadium. It offers various activities and supports different cultures. It provides students with opportunities to mingle while fostering a healthy living environment. So, in this context, how is pre-occupancy evaluation conducted? The process starts with in-person interview. To this end, I went to International House and its neighborhood to talk to the future occupants. Over 100 participants were interviewed, which resulted in around 30 samples that provided constructive insights. Following this is a process of documenting what was said and identifying the architectural problems described by the participants. In order to have a more comprehensive evaluation, I chose 16 participants that represent a range of backgrounds to respond to here. The problems they identified span a range of scales, from interior furniture arrangement to circulation of the building to interior-exterior relationships to the building form and its surroundings. With a set of architectural problems identified, we proceed to the ideation phase. The 16 voices of interviewees are here represented by 16 sets of 3 drawings each. The first 2 drawings are extracted directly from the interview, showing the problem described by each participant and a solution proposed by them. While the first 2 drawings attempt to stay true to the intention of the participant, the last offers a space for the voice of the architect. Rather than just solving the problem as stated, it aims to reframe the problem in a more holistic, synthetic, and in a manner that is mindful of a disciplinary context. One additional step speculates on how can this pre-design process might be directed towards affecting the design process itself and toward the generation of design solutions. Here, the voices of a pair of participants and the design solutions that are derived from them are further synthesized into a proposal. Ideally, this synthesizing may continue, resulting in an ever more comprehensive design proposal that reflects the voices of many co-occupants. Through the development of a pre-occupancy evaluation process, a new method for architects is proposed, one that allows for a better understanding of occupants' needs and desires while still maintaining architects' own authorial voice in the creative design process. I'll end with a personal note. As I walk into the UX industry, I wonder what kind of value I can bring with me from the methods I acquired during my architectural education. While the value of user research is clear to me, I also appreciate the value of the openness and the visual ambiguity found in architecture. However, I struggle to effectively translate these methods to a new context. Further, while this work presents one step in the direction I wish to go, it is not comprehensive, I'm wondering what other approaches from architecture can be applied to other design industry.